So I did it. I earned the Financial Risk Manager certification from the Global Association of Risk Professionals. I sought out this credential wanting to level up as a crypto and blockchain professional, and to get it, I had to pass two separate, highly technical 4-hour exams sat 6 months apart. And let me tell you, even with the master's and CFA behind me, it was still a lot of work. So was it worth it? And is this thoroughly Tradfi certification even remotely a fit for the wild, wild west of crypto? Let's find out. Okay, so I've been real on and off about making this video. I'm pretty sure that this topic is too niche, even by the standards of this channel. But I've decided to go ahead with it, to put the idea to rest, and to do it for my own benefit as much as anything else, using this as an exercise to integrate what I found to be relevant about this study material while it's still somewhat fresh in my memory. But if we're really, really lucky, some of you will find this stuff of interest as well. In the end, I decided it's better to split this up into two videos. The first is going to answer the big picture question. Should you take the FRM? Is it right for you? Should you put in the work that's needed to get it? And the second will be focused on asking, what do you learn in the FRM syllabus? And how relevant is it to the world of blockchain and crypto? As usual, I've created timestamps to help you navigate to the parts of interest. So let's kick off with a question that's going to be most practically relevant to you. If you're a crypto analyst of one variety or another, should you take the FRM? My response is to say that the answer is either going to be a no or a maybe. Before I explain my reasoning here, let me caution that I've only had this certification for 3 months. It is still far too early to see how it will actually impact on my career. It may turn out to have some important benefits for me down the line, or it may not. My evaluation today is only based on what difference the FRM has made to me so far. Has it improved my ability to think and to solve problems related to risk? Has it added to my practical skills? And has it improved my ability to think strategically? And to some extent, my evaluations of these questions are going to be a bit hypothetical. I'm only just beginning to apply these skills to my own personal research and to create a new work portfolio with. For example, some of them were used to create this on-chain June analytics dashboard that I talked about in an earlier video and which has been getting some encouraging feedback. But maybe that's just because it looks cool and sophisticated. I have no idea, actually, if there are clients out there who will be interested in having this risk work done for them. So let's see how that goes. And I'm fully aware that everything I've said does not amount to a resounding endorsement for taking the FRM if you work in crypto. The main issue is that the FRM is a Tradfi certification, and a lot of its content will not feel relevant to you. It is very, very heavily geared towards risk management in the traditional finance and banking industries. And the material is taught in a way which is very specific to those contexts and applications. A lot of the stuff in there is just not going to be relevant to you. And to be honest, that is also going to apply to any TradFi analysts studying for this certification as well. The FRM syllabus is really broad, and there are no real professional roles out there that will actually require you to get that deep into all the areas that are covered by this syllabus. But that sense of distance and disconnect is definitely going to be much larger if you're coming to this as someone who is narrowly focused on the blockchain space. You are going to have to invest time and effort memorizing formulas for hedging duration risk on a bond portfolio, for example. Stuff that's entirely removed from anything that is going on in crypto, today at least. To get value from this material that you can reapply in blockchain and crypto contexts will actually require a separate effort on your part, requiring independent, proactive thinking and some imagination. But if you take this on, all your immediate time and energy is going to be focused on passing the FRM exam just as it is. And that is going to make your study journey feel really far removed from any of your main interests in blockchain. So that's why I think that for a majority of blockchain analysts, the answer to this question is a clear and simple no. The syllabus is going to feel too far removed, and there are plenty of other study and professional development efforts that I think will deliver more tangible and targeted results for your career advancement in the short term. That could be learning on-chain analytics or putting together financial research reports or whatever. So with all that I've just said, how could the answer to this question ever be a maybe? Well, it's true that I feel unsure as to whether getting the FRM was the best way I could have invested that time and energy. But having done that work now, I do feel more empowered by being in possession of this knowledge and understanding and the resources that these studies have given me. I didn't just stumble into this program by accident. Risk is an issue that is critical to the problems that I found myself most attracted to and concerned by within this space. Consider the question that I come to time and time again on this channel and in all my interviews, which is, what is good tokenomics? Well, almost every answer is going to make reference to some notion of sustainability, right? And achieving sustainability inevitably means managing risk. The other key question that I help my clients with is, how do you implement good financial management at your startup? The answer to that also includes sustainable management of native assets, which again means managing risk. Risk and sustainability are two sides of the same coin. And after seeing how spectacularly everything messed up in 2022, I didn't think that it was going to be wise for me to simply rely on my own thinking or looking up to supposed crypto gurus to work out these questions. This is a situation where I absolutely did not want to play fake it till you make it. The stakes are just too high, and I don't want to BS my way around. So, has the FRM given me clear answers to these questions? No, it hasn't. In a crypto context, these problems are still very novel. And for that matter, passing 2 4-hour exams doesn't make me an experienced risk manager either. But what the FRM has done is it has equipped me to make more responsibly informed assessments about these problems, with awareness of some of the best practices that are used in traditional finance, and giving me some sense of where I am equipped to give these problems my best effort and where I am not. Because it's okay for me to tell a prospective client that I am not the right professional for them. More than that, it is absolutely something that I want to be able to do whenever that is the case. In short, I feel that this study content has empowered me to navigate risk-related issues in an informed way and with professional integrity. So now that I have this certification, I'm leaning into making a new push into working on projects and doing analysis that is more risk-concerned and risk-informed, and to promote that as part of my skill set. So let's see in time whether that does end up successfully bringing in work in these areas for me. So that's all very much my story. How could this apply to you? Well, if my story resonates with you, I think that's a good cue. If you're someone who is really exercised or frustrated by problems concerning risk, to the extent that you're willing to go through this extra effort to study a syllabus that's being put together for a different industry, and that you have the capacity to do that, and you don't think that there are other professional development opportunities that would work better for you, then go for it. But be warned, you will feel like you're jumping through hoops, and that most of what you're learning at surface level is going to appear as if it has nothing to do with blockchain or crypto. So let's get back to this list and answer these questions directly. Has the FRM improved my ability to think and solve problems related to risk? Yes, it has. I now have frameworks for thinking about different sorts of risk and have studied plenty of examples and approaches employed in traditional finance to manage them. Has the FRM expanded my practical skills? Well, kinda. The FRM assesses you with a multiple choice test, which only allows you to use a simple calculator to solve problems with. Now, obviously, that is not reflective of the problems that you have to solve in real life. But those questions tested my knowledge on a whole library of quantitative methods and techniques that I had to learn about, and a good portion of which I do feel confident applying for myself. So yes, I think that the studies have broadened the set of tools that I have to work with in practical terms, and that they've given me a much clearer steer for where I might need to go looking if I'm not sure what I need to do. Finally, I do believe the FRM has improved my ability to think strategically, and in ways that I hadn't been expecting. The FRM is focused on Tradfi and banking, which is a much larger, more mature, risk and complexly integrated set of systems than we have developed in crypto today. And I think that understanding the intricacies of the traditional financial system and how and why they evolved, all of which is very much part of the FRM syllabus, will equip you to get some sense of the direction of travel that crypto and blockchain are headed in. Because we're going to see a mutual convergence between TradFi and blockchain-based financial markets and instruments over the next 5 to 10 years. All of this will give you a strategic perspective to think about how things are going to develop, where the current gaps are in the crypto financial system, what innovations would make it better that already exist in TradFi, and help you be more clear-eyed about what the genuine advantages of blockchain over TradFi really are, instead of just caroling along with the crypto cult. The other reason why the FRM syllabus equips you to think strategically about blockchain is that financial regulations are a huge part of the FRM syllabus. And you don't just learn about the current regulations, you learn about the past ones as well, and what initiated each evolution and turn of those regulations, trying to improve on the failures of the past. And you also end up learning about plenty of case studies of things that went wrong. This is likely to give you much more detailed knowledge about regulation than you probably already have, with an understanding of why it was created, and that equips you to make a better call to anticipate the way that regulations are going to evolve for crypto, and to really understand how regulators think, what their concerns are, and what the precedent events were, instead of just defaulting to this childish, simplistic internet conspiracy mindset that regulators are all bad people who want to keep you and the rest of crypto and all of humanity down solely to protect their own interests. Anyway, this kind of strategy is super high level and long term, so I don't think there will be many work opportunities that benefit from this kind of thinking. So consider it more as a bonus compared to the other two things that I brought up in this list. There's one more thing worth discussing about the FRM program, and that's to ask, is it recognized and respected? We should be asking this because it is an important part of what makes a credential valuable. It has to be well known and trusted. On this issue, it's fair to say that the FRM is a much more niche certification, and it does not have the same prestige as the CFA. You'll probably have to explain what the FRM is to anyone who is not narrowly inside the world of risk management at a large financial institution. That said, if I look at the content, and I have the CFA myself, I think the FRM is a better syllabus for crypto, accepting the fact that both of these certifications are heavily TradFi focused and both are not tailored to crypto to begin with. But the CFA is more recognized. And so if you're looking for a more general boost to your CV profile, maybe that's the better choice, but it is also one that will take more time and money to acquire. So all of this is a bit of a trade-off. And so that wraps up my thoughts on whether you should take the FRM as a crypto analyst. Certainly maybe if risk really keeps you up at night, you're willing to grind through a lot of material and you have the space to do that in your career, and you've maxed out all the other skills that you think could advance your career in a more practical way. But if that is you, then maybe you'll consider watching the second video in the series where I'll cover what you learn in the FRM and how it's relevant to blockchain and crypto.